Hello and welcome back to jimmurphymp.com, where we are keeping in touch with local and national news and politics. And belated Happy New Year to everyone. Sorry it's taken me a wee bit longer to record this video. I've just been pretty busy over the past few days. Here in Barhead today after doing my surgeries, and it's been a pretty busy afternoon. The news that seems now to be appearing that LRV looks set to cancel their application to build part of the waste incinerator here in Barhead. I'd written to the management of LRV before Christmas and after Christmas, asking them to come to a public meeting to answer local people's concerns, and it now seems that that threat of a public meeting and the campaign that's been running and getting up and running more energy in the new year really has made them think again, and it now looks, although it's yet to be confirmed, that they will cancel that application. So that's a really good piece of news to start the new year with here in Barhead. This afternoon I was also at William Wood High School with Ken McIntosh, meeting the Advanced Modern Studies and answering their questions. I think a lot of their questions were better than our answers, but it was great to meet them. And if you're a senior pupil or a teacher in one of the local schools, it'd be good to come along and do a similar thing to your modern studies classes, history classes or economics classes or whatever. On the issue of questions and answers, there's been an awful lot of row and disagreement this week about what question will be put on the ballot paper in the forthcoming referendum. And I think it's pretty sensible that we have one question which has legal clarity and political clarity, and we shouldn't have any games or gimmicks from the Scottish Government. The other people who want independence surely want to get it in a clear mandate, in a clear conversation, and to play these sort of shenanigans it confounds most people why they're doing it. So let's have one question, let's have it straight. Now, once we've resolved the issue of the question, let's resolve the issue of the answers, because this is the bigger point. If you want to break up Britain, you've got to make a compelling case, you've got to prove it once and for all, and they haven't even got to a starter on this. I mean, the basic questions like, what currency would a separate Scotland have? Previously the Nats wanted the euro. The euro crisis, they now mumble something about wanting to keep sterling pound. Now, have they discussed this? Have they debated it? Have they agreed it? If the people who want a separate country can't even tell us the currency that they want to operate in that country, they haven't done their homework at all. Which central bank might sound like a technical point to some people, a dry economic point, but it's of fundamental importance. Whether it's the European Central Bank or the Bank of England, or they're going to have their own central bank that sets interest rates, it doesn't add up. And they've got to make it at least a better sense of an argument to at least come up with some sort of answer to many of these big questions. Even in my own area, as Shadow Defence Secretary, there wouldn't be a Royal Navy, a Royal Air Force, a British Army. The thousands of future shipbuilding jobs in the Clyde, where would they go? Britain doesn't build aircraft carriers in France. The Royal Navy's aircraft carriers are not built in France because we don't build them in a foreign country. And a very real worry for many people who work in shipbuilding in the Clyde and elsewhere in Scotland would be that if Scotland was to leave the United Kingdom, the rest of what was left of the UK, England, Wales and Northern Ireland, they would be no more likely to build Royal Navy ships in the Clyde than they would be to build them in France. So these are the sorts of things we need answers to. How big would our armed forces be? What would the currency be? What would the central bank be? What would the benefit system be? What would the immigration system be? And these are big answers that need to be given before we even start to entertain a conversation about leaving the United Kingdom. So once we resolve the issue of having a single question, let's get to some responses to the multiple answers that are still outstanding. That's all for just now. If you have views on these things, get in touch. And whenever I talk about separation in the SNP, my Twitter feed's full of people who clearly don't like Britain. All I would say to you is, if you've got an argument about this, you don't have to be personally insulting, you don't have to vilify people, you don't have to say that someone's anti-Scottish or unpatriotic because their love of Scotland means that they want to stay part of the United Kingdom. So I think probably in future, if you send in the abusive emails or Twitter feed or Facebook messages, I'll find some way to delete you, and so that you don't participate in the debate, because I can't really be bothered with the personal insults and bile that typifies much of this conversation. So if you've got a big idea, a big argument that's positive, it's about policy, it's about values, then smash in, let's hear from you on either side of the debate. on Facebook, on Twitter, by email in an unusual way. I've gone down to the post office, buying a stamp, sticking it in an envelope and posting it off to me in the House of Commons. That's all for just now. Cheerio.